Right now at 6, what new dispatch audio reveals about the moments police say a man with a gun hijacked a TriMet bus.
Gilson, and there's a guy with a gun. I need police now.
Plus, a former Oregon City paper mill goes up in flames, and firefighters say they could be there for days.
It was big, it was huge. I was like, holy crap, I wonder if they can contain this,
Then, how Oregon's new attorney general is pushing back on another of President Trump's executive orders.
And later in sports, it's almost time for Friday Night Hoops. Orlando's bringing the hype with the top 5 plays of the week.
Thanks for joining us. I'm David Mulco.
And I'm Christine Pedawanich. We're following up tonight on that scary takeover of a TriMet bus. While the suspect headed to court today, we got a hold of some of the dispatch audio to hear how the driver got everyone off the bus safely.
Incredibly harrowing. John Adams is live in downtown Portland with those new details and the audio. John?
Absolutely, David and Christine. 33-year-old Hosea Chambers appeared before a Multnomah County judge today about 24 hours after he allegedly hijacked a TriMet bus and by gunpoint forced the driver to drive them around Portland's Old Town. The judge today ruling that Chambers would stay in jail behind bars until at least his next court appearance. Now, according to PPB, Chambers started firing shots in the area of Northwest 3rd and Gleason before boarding the bus that was heading west towards downtown. Dispatchers were in contact with the bus driver as Chambers allegedly got on the bus and pointed the gun at the driver. The passengers were able to escape out of the back of the bus, but police say Chambers asked the operator to drive the bus around the area. They eventually came back to roughly the same spot and the driver was able to get out. It took a few more hours before police used chemical agents to get Chambers off the bus. We were also able to listen to dispatch audio today that details the brave actions by that TriMet driver to get everyone off the bus safely and their interactions with the suspect.
408, secure the bus, have everybody get down, please.
He's telling me he's coming off the bus. He's standing right beside me. Everybody's getting off my bus up the back door. He's telling me I can't stop. And no. Oh, Jesus. This is. Oh, hey, buddy.
Now, I also spoke with the president of the Amalgamated Transit Union 757, which represents the TriMet bus drivers. The president said the actions of the bus driver likely saved lives and called him a hero. Now, we have much more of that dispatch audio available for anyone to listen to on our website, kgw.com, and on our KGW YouTube channel. Anyone who wants to see it can head to those locations and check it out. David and Christine, back to you.
Jarring audio for sure. Glad no one was hurt. John Adams reporting live from downtown. Thank you, John.
Turning now to a weather impact alert set to go into effect on Friday. Right now it's 42 degrees in the Rose City and dropping with the clouds back in the sky and change in the form of rain and snow in the forecast.
Chief Meteorologist Matt Safino here now to break it all down for us. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Christine. Rain showing up on radar right now along the coast of Oregon and Washington, spreading inland actually just now into about I-5 down around Eugene. We'll see rain in the Portland area about between 10 p.m. and midnight tonight. And tomorrow is going to be a rainy day and the snow will fly in the Cascades. The snow level will be dropping and it's going to get very snowy up in the mountains, so prepare for tough winter driving conditions. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people going up to ski on Saturday morning. It'll be really snowy from low elevation down around Welch's up, and there'll be a lot of people, so that's a combination for traffic, as you know. So in the valleys, yeah, snow showers. Saturday right on through Wednesday as the snow level drops down to about 500 feet. Above 500 feet, it'll get slippery up in the hills because there will be sticking snow there. Above 2,000 feet, 2 to 3 feet through the weekend. 1 to 3 inches in the hills above 500 feet. So think Burnside Summit, Sunset Summit, the zoo and above, the West Hills. We'll all get an inch or two of snow, maybe 3. But for the valley floor, including downtown Portland, most likely just a rain snow mix, not sticking snow here, but it's close. We'll dig deeper into all this in a bit, guys.
Yeah, as we know from experience, a few hundred feet can make a big difference.
Big time.
Thank you, Matt. In tonight's headlines, a man is in custody accused of shooting and killing the owner of a Depot Bay hotel. Authorities say shots were fired just after 10 this morning at the Four Winds Inn. That's right off Highway 101, Police say they found 44-year-old Sarabjit Singh dead inside. Authorities say the suspect took off east on Highway 20 and they had to use spike strips to stop him. 29-year-old Brennan Neal is now charged with murder, robbery, and attempting to elude police.
The man accused of shooting and killing a 21-year-old man Wednesday afternoon in a Vancouver park was in court this afternoon. The shooting happened at Jaggi Road Park. The person who was shot has not yet been identified, but police say they found the suspect, 23-year-old Mashu, nearby, then arrested him. He's been charged with second-degree murder. Today, the judge ordered him to be held without bail.
We are also learning more about the man who was arrested after a 10-hour standoff with police yesterday in Portland's St. John's neighborhood. Authorities say 34-year-old Adam Klinko was wanted on domestic violence charges and on a fugitive warrant from Washington. Police arrested him after he hunkered down in a neighbor's home. Klinko, who appeared in court today, is now also charged with running from police.
And the St. Helens School District has hired a new acting superintendent to guide the district through the fallout from multiple sex abuse investigations. Dr. Karen Fisher-Gray has worked in education for more than 3 decades. Previously, she served as superintendent of the Coos Bay, Park Rose, and Lincoln County school districts. She takes over for Dr. Stephen Webb, who was appointed in November after a current and former teacher were arrested on sex abuse charges. And then Superintendent Scott Stockwell was put on administrative leave.
And the city of Portland has reached a tentative agreement with a union representing more than 1,000 city employees avoiding a strike. This comes, the union says, after almost 18 hours at the bargaining table. City council and union members will have to vote to ratify this agreement. The city, though, is yet to reach an agreement with about 200 trade union members. They've said they will strike next Thursday. If a deal isn't reached before then, the two sides plan to return to mediation on Monday. Developing this evening, crews in Oregon City are trying to put out a fire that has been burning since early this morning, and they tell us they could be at the old Blue Heron paper mill for at least a couple of days.
Devin Haskins is live outside the mill. Devin, do investigators have any idea how this all started?
Well, at this point they don't, but it's something that fire investigators say they want to look into. And once they're able to, then try and figure out what caused this fire. Now, more than 12 hours later, it was about this dark, at 4 o'clock this morning, except now with it being basically pitch black behind me, it was an orange glow. Flames so big and so hot that people standing where I'm standing right now said they could feel the intense heat.
In the dark of the early morning, the bright orange glow of a 3-alarm fire lit up the sky in Oregon City.
I woke up and I saw my whole living room in orange, and I'm thinking, what could that be?
The former site of the Blue Heron paper mill was engulfed in flames.
It was like big, it was huge. Like I was like, holy crap, I wonder if they can contain this, you know?
And it had those watching the abandoned buildings burn feeling the heat.
And the flames here were, I don't think it could have stood here. It had to be such a hot fire. It was just a ball of flames and smoke.
The paper mill hasn't been functional since 2011 when it shut down.
It's truly a saddening time for us because, as I think most Oregonians know, that this is a sacred site to us.
Cheryl Kennedy is the chairwoman for the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde. In 2019, the tribe bought the site and has been slowly dismantling the buildings, making way for a riverfront development project.
We have high aspirations. Our dreams are that it will once again be a thriving community there, and that there will be access to the river there.
The tribe says the project was in between demolition phases when the fire started, and that all of the buildings were eventually going to come down anyways.
We don't believe it'll be set back. The staging of the demolition will continue.
For several hours, fire crews kept a distance while trying to keep the fire from spreading up the hill. A hazmat crew was also brought in to test the air for any toxic chemicals.
Trying to get a hold of it right away is the biggest challenge, right, before it spreads. In a building like this where we don't know what's inside, the building's been abandoned for a long time.
And for those watching, a fear of the worst.
We have a lot of trees literally in most of our homes. And so if the wind picks up and there are embers going our direction, yeah, that would be a concern. We wouldn't want to second California or anything like that.
Well, those fears put to rest now that the fire is pretty much out, except for some small portions of the building that you can still see some flames in now. Now, this is the second major fire at the mill in the last several years. In 2020, a man was arrested and convicted and found guilty of arson after setting furniture on fire at the mill. Again, fire investigators for this fire have yet to determine a cause. Back to you.
Glad the flames did not spread and that crews are making progress. Thank you, Devin. Oregon Attorney General Dan Rayfield is pushing back on President Trump's executive order to curtail gender-affirming care for people under 19 years old.
Well, the order bars the federal government from funding, promoting, or supporting care, including the use of puberty blockers, hormones, and surgeries. Now, some of these things are largely covered by the Oregon Health Plan. That's the state's version of Medicaid. In a statement, Rayfield said, quote, "In Oregon, we believe everyone has the right to privacy to make their own informed health care decisions with their family and care provider." He goes on to say, accusing the Trump administration of, quote, "imposing its political agenda at the expense of some of the most vulnerable people." Rayfield didn't point to any specific action yet, but added all legal options are on the table.